Meet Point Nemo, where the International Space Station will die in 2030. Point Nemo, called the loneliest spot on Earth, where humanity's greatest achievement will crash and burn. Greetings, fellow observers. Commander Zix here with breaking news from Earth again, where humans have apparently decided the best way to retire their most expensive engineering achievement is to throw it into the ocean. The National Space Station, humanity's crown jewel of cooperation and science, is being deliberately crashed into Point Nemo in 2030. But here's the fascinating part. Point Nemo is so remote that when you stand there, the closest humans to you are literally astronauts floating 250 miles above you on the ISS, the International Space Station. You can't make this up. So here's what happened. NASA and its international partners announced the 460-ton space station will be deorbited at the end of 2030 using a modified SpaceX Dragon capsule as a space tug. Translation: they are spending $1 billion to build a vehicle that drags the station down to Point Nemo, the spacecraft cemetery located 1,670 miles from the nearest land. The station just celebrated 25 years of continuous human occupation, but apparently no confetti for year 50 because it is getting ocean dumped instead. Simple retirement plan. Let me paint this picture for you, space observers. Point Nemo sits at coordinates 48 degrees 52.6 south, 123 degrees 23.6 degrees west, in the South Pacific, where at least 264 spacecraft have been dumped since 1971. Russia's Mir space station currently holds the record at 130 tons, but the International Space Station will shatter that mark. It is as long as a football field and weighs more than 3 Boeing 747s. NASA engineers expect a 3-stage breakup. Solar arrays separate first, then modules break apart, and finally, everything melts during re-entry. Meanwhile, denser components like truce sections will survive the fireball and splash down. The irony is absolutely stunning. But wait, it gets better. Environmental watchdog groups are not happy about this plan. George Leonard, chief scientist at Ocean Conservancy, compared dumping the ISS to throwing single-use plastics into the ocean. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Researcher Leonard Schultz from Technische Universität Braunschweig warns that 450 tons of burning metal could release aluminum oxides into the atmosphere, potentially damaging Earth's ozone layer. David Santillo from Greenpeace International says they have been concerned about ocean dumping since Russia crashed Mir there in 2001. Apparently, the town of Esperance, Australia, still remembers when Skylab accidentally littered their streets in 1979 and famously fined NASA $400 for it. Talk about holding grudges. Talk about holding grudges, am I right? Here's where it gets truly fascinating. NASA examined multiple options, including disassembly, boosting to a higher orbit, or letting it fall randomly, but concluded controlled ocean dumping is the least worst option. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is evaluating the plan, but has not shared any specific concerns yet. Meanwhile, NASA insists environmental impacts will be small because Point Nemo has low biodiversity due to weak ocean currents and intense UV rays, except researchers already found microplastics there in 2018 when yachts passed through. The issue is not whether Point Nemo is remote, it is that humans built something magnificent for $150 billion over the decades, but never planned for the end. Your species created the largest structure ever assembled in space, hosted groundbreaking research, and called it humanity's greatest technological achievement. Then combine this with zero disposal planning into one spectacular oversight, where the finale involves crashing it into the ocean like unwanted furniture. This is Commander Zix reminding you that while Earth celebrates 25 years of continuous space habitation, they are apparently 6 years away from turning their orbital laboratory into the Pacific's heaviest artificial reef. Apparently, long-term planning is still not humanity's strong suit.